Hi, Coach Simon here. So, I recently did a Q&A on my Snapchat, and one question in particular kept popping up, and it's something that I do get asked all the time. Okay, that question is how to target body fat around the stomach or abdominal area. Now, it's a bit of a fitness myth that you can target body fat in a certain area with a certain exercise. So, the way that we lose body fat or drop body fat from a certain area or from anywhere on the body is we need to be in a consistent calorie deficit through a prolonged period of time. So it's no good being in a calorie deficit for 4 days and then being in a calorie surplus for the rest of the week. We need to be in a prolonged calorie deficit. Now, my best advice to you would be to get yourself a Fitbit that tracks your calorie output, and use MyFitnessPal to track your calorie input. There you'll be able to see patterns on your calorie output versus calorie input. Just as a general rule of thumb, you want to be in around about a 500 calorie deficit. So if you burn 2,500 calories, which it'll tell you on your Fitbit, you consume 2,000 calories. That's the basics. What we are going to do today is we're going to head into the gym, and I'm going to show you my 4 favourite core muscle exercises. Now, when we're training the core muscle, just like when we're training chest, back, biceps, legs, we want to be training them at different tempos, different speeds, different angles. Now, one thing that I do see a lot of people do, they're trying to build a six-pack, they're just hitting some crunches at the end of the session. That's just not going to cut it, really. So what you can do is you can incorporate these exercises in with any of your other sessions. So I like to do a little bit of core work throughout my training program. My training program at the moment doesn't specifically have a core day on it. I incorporate these exercises into my own training program. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you my 4 favourite core exercises. Now, the first exercise I'm going to show you is a leg raise. I'm going to show you ways to progress or make this exercise a little bit easier. So the simple form of a leg raise would be a leg raise from the floor. So all you need to do is lie down. You're going to try and keep your lower back onto the floor, and then bring your legs up to about 90 degrees and then control and tap the floor at the bottom. Now, it's really important that you keep your core contracted, so nice and tight all the way through that movement. Now, that's the easy version. Now, what I'm going to show you is how to progress that with using a bar. So all you need to do is, again, keep that core nice and tight, and then bring your feet up just past 90 degrees into the hips and control, and then back up. Now, it's really important that we're not just working the front of the core. Now, this is going to work all your posterior and anterior core muscles. Now, there is one other little exercise you can do. If you struggle, if you find that too hard and that too easy, you can use a dip station. Now, we come over to this dip station, and then if you lock these in, and again, keeping that core nice and tight, bringing the hips up to about 90 degrees. Now that's your six-pack maker. Right, okay, I did mention this before about working the core from different angles. Now this is why this is my favourite exercise. I literally chuck this into every session if I've got time. So it's called a wood chop, and you'll need a cable junction for this. Now, you can do this exercise at a variety of different angles just by moving the cables down. So the basic version would be, so you stand square on to the cables, and if I'm doing this on my left hand side, I keep my left arm straight. Now this is a great exercise to target the obliques and the lower abdominal muscles. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this across my body, and as I come back, I'm giving my obliques a good squeeze, and then I'm back. So if you notice, I'm using my core to twist in, and I'm not using my legs, because if I twist in like this, I'm going to be just using my quads, glutes and hamstring, which I don't really want to do. So it's just a twist through the core. Okay? And then we turn it round, and when you're doing it on the other arm, you keep the right arm straight, and again just mirroring that movement back through. Okay? If you go a little bit higher the cables, and you come down below your hips, this is a high to low wood chop, you're going to target the bottom of your obliques. If you're coming up from the bottom, from a low to high wood chop, you're going to target the upper obliques and the opposite oblique. Turn those love handles into love. I was going to make a shit joke, but love muscles. Love muscles. I've got a yes like. Just say love muscles. Love that shit. That's so good. Right, okay, right, so like I mentioned before, crunches are not going to get you a six-pack. Weighted sit-ups, on the other hand, they're going to build a nice strong core. So all you need, you can do this one with a dumbbell. I'm going to do this with a little bit of weight. So all you need, I'm going to use a plate. Bring your feet in towards your hips. This is the start position. We're going to push up above the head, and as we come down, it's control, 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 and the plate should hit your chest as your back does. So control, keep that core nice and tight. And this is also great if you've got tight shoulders, just pushing that movement right up, keep the core nice and tight, and then control on the way back. This is going to target everywhere. This is a real good finisher for your core muscles. Just on a little side note, when you're training in the gym, if you're leaving the gym and you've not sweated your back out and you can't move and you can't talk, you've not trained hard enough. So when you're training your core muscles, keep the rest periods low, keep the intensity up, keep the reps nice and high, keep the weight there. Crunches aren't going to get you a six-pack, but working hard, eating the right things, burning those calories, that's what's going to get you a six-pack. Right, my last exercise sounds like a cocktail, but it's not. It's called a Russian twist. Russian twist. Right, so all you need is a kettlebell. You sit on the floor, bring your feet up into the air, and then you're going to keep your elbows tucked into the hips, and all it is a tap on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, keep the reps nice and high, keep your rest periods low. Superset, tricep, drop set, put weight through the muscles, and you will build a strong core. If you're eating the right things, burning the right amount of calories, those abdominal muscles will come through, I promise you that. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time, guys.